Well, hi, my name is Aisha Iqbal. I am a policy specialist at Google Play, working with the privacy and security team. Unfortunately, my co-presenter, Tina, is stuck in California helping with the launch of the data safety section, so I'll be presenting alone today. So, you've probably seen a lot of headlines that capture a lot of confusion and user stress around data privacy and data protection. It captures what many of us have felt one point or another. We know that there is a lot of information out there about apps, how they may collect user data, their data handling and security practices, and more. It could be hard for any user to find this information, read through it all, and make sense of what it means. When we talked to users, we found that image sentiment was pretty spot on. There is an overwhelming amount of information at varying degrees of ease to find if a user wants to know more about an app's data practices. For example, one of our research studies showed that over 75% of US users surveyed found data collection not at all to only somewhat transparent. We heard from users that there is a lot of information to navigate, but we also wanted to know what would be most useful to them. So we asked, and users told us that they care most about, 1, what information is collected about me? How will this information be used? How much control do I have? And what safety practices are keeping my data safe? Here's a quote from one of the users we spoke with. I would appreciate a lot if they informed me how much this would reduce the functionality of the app. I feel it would help me make better choices in terms of which apps to download and what permissions to give them. We know that data and security will not be the only consideration to a user, but our goal in making this information more discoverable and easy to understand is that users can see it and use to make more informed choices about the apps they install and use. Keeping users safe is core to what we do on Android and Google Play. As we iterate our products and policy, we continue to build upon an existing foundation that's designed to build user trust. Here are a few of our guiding principles. We want to provide users with 1, transparency around what data is accessed by apps across different touch points across the user journey. We also want to provide simple controls for users to make informed choices about granting access to their data, such as Android permissions. 2, data minimization refers to limiting the scope of data access so users aren't surprised by the data that leaves their device. For example, there's Play policy that restricts access to sensitive user data through permissions like background location and scoped storage. Last but not least, Last but not least, there's data security. That includes measures that you and Google can take to keep apps and users' data safe. How can we provide more privacy and security information to users, you may be wondering? There are already several ways that you communicate about user data to your users. Your app may have a privacy policy. For users that have installed your app, you may surface an in-app prominent disclosure and prompt the user for consent through a runtime permission. We want to build on the existing in-app and in-context prompts users see to help inform users before app install. This is a moment where users are looking to learn more about your app, its benefits, and what data of theirs may be collected. We're really trying to complement the awareness that happens within the app. Research shows that the more informed users are, such as about sensitive data permissions, the more likely they are to engage. For example, one recent study showed a decrease in over 50% of the deny rate by users when permission requests provided an explanation. We want to provide relevant user data and security information to users to make the right choices for themselves. So let's move on to a quick video walkthrough of the new Play data safety section. Perfect, thank you. Yeah, the music is very key. So moving on to the data safety section itself, we're adding a data safety section on the Play Store, which will describe what data is shared, collected, and security practices that are followed. Our goals through this feature are, 1, to support users to make informed decisions about the apps they install and use, and 2, to give developers a canvas to showcase their approach to privacy and security. The feature highlights developer practices such as whether user data collected is encrypted in transit, or whether the app has undergone an independent review of security practices. The feature keeps terms simple and avoids complicated jargon, and it provides relevant and helpful context, such as if collection is optional. Taking a look at this illustrative mock, when a user arrives to your app's store listing, they can see information you provide in the new data safety section. At a glance, users will see a summary, key information, such as is any user data collected and shared, and other practices. Users can click in to learn more. When users click in, they see that this information is provided by you. And they also see that while the information provides a holistic view of what the app may collect and share, in some cases, depending on the user region, age, and other factors, the actual data practices may vary. Users' data is shown in 2 clear categories. 1, what user data is collected, i.e. sent off device, and 2, what user data is shared with third parties. When you click on a specific data type, it shows expanded views, enabling users to get more context on specific user data types that are of interest to them. Here, users can get more context on why this data is being collected and/or shared, and if the collection is optional. If your app doesn't collect or share any user data, you'll still need to complete a data safety section, and we'll show users that your app doesn't collect or share any of their data. And while we want everyone to complete this form by February 2022, so users can start to view it, if you are still working on it, this placeholder will be shown to users. Now let's walk through a quick example of what you can expect. Example, your app collects location and your app collects user location and collects and shares user health information. These data types need to be disclosed in your app's data safety section. You can make the selections for your app under App Content in the Play console. Here, you'll be able to disclose app-level selections such as, is the data encrypted in transit, and user data that is collected and/or shared, along with other purposes. We heard from other developers that being able to replicate forms across multiple apps would be helpful. So we're also supporting the ability to import your information through a CSV file, and copying over a disclosure across multiple apps where they have the same data collection and sharing practices. Let's also touch on a few policy updates that have accompanied the data safety section. First, Play's user data policy has been updated to state that you must fill a data safety form in the Google Play console for each of your apps. You're responsible for the accuracy of the section and keeping it up to date. Also, please make sure your information is consistent with your app's privacy policy. For example, if your privacy policy discloses the use of location data, please make sure a corresponding data declaration is made on your data safety section. Speaking of privacy policies, the requirements for privacy policies has been updated. Now, all apps must have a privacy policy link in the console and post a privacy policy in the app itself. The privacy policy should accurately disclose how your app accesses, collects, uses, and shares user data. For more details, see our user data policy on the Developer Policy Center. Now, switching over to apps that more specifically target children. As a reminder, every app already has a target audience and content selection or section within console, where developers declare the age ranges of their target audience. With the new data safety section, apps whose target audience include children will be able to declare and show that they follow Google's Family Play policy. This will start displaying on apps that target kids when the label launches next year. This is a good way to let parents know if your app provides a children's experience. You might be wondering, what is the Play Families policy? The Play Families policy is a special collection of policies that apply only to apps who include children in their target audience. Some of the policy highlights include use only Google Play certified ad SDKs to show ads to children or users of unknown age. Certified ad SDKs are a list of 8 ads SDKs that have self-certified their compliance with policies meant to protect children. Also, apps should avoid any other SDKs that are not approved for use in child-directed services when the user is a child or of unknown age. The remaining policies can be found in the Developer Policy Center. This might be a good time to remind apps targeting children that the Data Practices section of the Families policy was recently updated. Previously, we have discouraged the use of hardware identifiers. This update disallows the use of certain device identifiers when the user is a child of unknown age. In addition, starting April 1st, apps targeting children must not transmit the Android advertising ID when the user is a child or of unknown age. Take a look at the new Help Center article to help with your compliance efforts in that regard. We also have additional resources. You can visit our Help Center article, where you can find detailed guidance, definitions, and links to everything that we've stated here. You'll find within the user data policy additional requirements for the data safety section and the privacy policy requirements. We also have a detailed Play Academy course with examples that will guide you throughout this experience. And then we have a separate developer guide that will help guide you on how to review third-party codes. That includes different libraries and SDKs. We will leave you with a few quick parting thoughts. First, if you need any more information, please go to any of the links provided here. Second, this may be a good time to start to get to know your SDKs and how they collect and share data so that you can fill out your data safety section properly. Last, for timeline, developers can start declaring information in the Google Play console today. Users will start to see the labels in February of 2022, then developers have until April of 2022 to declare their data information. After April 22 is when we will start doing the enforcement for this specific section. Thank you so much.